Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming back and listening. Thank you for sharing. I'm loving these stories. These women are amazing, and they're living situations and experiences that a lot of us have, and sometimes when we've gone through it, we've felt alone. So I'm hoping, even if it reaches one person, even if it helps one person not feel alone, the power of lipstick's goal will be met. Thank you guys so much. Today I'll be sharing a self-reflection letter about a woman named Maria. She will share her emotions and her reflections of her silent struggles with infertility. Such a brave woman. She will share her odyssey through her longing, her loss, and ultimately her hope. I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you. The Power of Lipstick. Empty Cradle. A woman's journey through infertility and heartache. Dear Maria, I see that failure and darkness is not what you see in the mirror anymore. I bet you never thought you'd get here. You no longer feel like you failed yourself, failed womanhood, failed your husband. Once upon a time, you felt like such a failure, remember? To the point where ending your life sounded better than failing to do what in your mind you were set in this earth to do. Have babies, lots of them. As far back as you remember, the idea of what a woman's role entailed growing up, get married, and having children. It's what you saw your mothers do. It's what you saw your sisters do. It's what you saw your girlfriends do. It's what at times felt the whole world was doing. Seemed easy, right? No condom equaled baby. You had followed this map of womanhood just like they did. You grew up, found Prince Charming, got married, and now it was time to have kids. But oh, how wrong were you? Somehow, someway, this imaginary map of womanhood misguided you and left you stranded in infertility territory with a diagnosis of PCOS. This was a lonely place that you did not wish on your worst enemy. You thought, damn it, Maria, how did this happen? You just wanted to bring a baby home. You wanted to give your husband a baby, your parents a grandkid, yourself a best friend. One with your awesome dimples, your dad's strength, and most definitely your mom's sense of humor. Sadly, you thought, I'm a failure. I'm not woman enough. I failed to do the one thing women's bodies were built to do. I couldn't have a child. What you dreamt of your whole life became unreachable. The dream of becoming a mom turned into a nightmare. One that brought loneliness and guilt instead of happiness. And years of that unconditional love other mothers speak about. You tried, Maria. You tried so hard. You tried to the point of losing yourself. You lost sight of the real world. You became blinded by the harsh reality of living through infertility. Your main focus was no longer doing life for you, because life without pregnancy and a baby was just not enough. Without bringing life into this world, life in this world did nothing for you. It was pointless. It was a waste. The uphill battle of infertility became your main focus. You were determined to prove your body wrong. Your fertility treatments began with intrauterine insemination, IUI. The chances of getting pregnant with this approach were slim, but it was not as invasive as IVF, and it was a hell of a lot cheaper. To your surprise, it worked on your first try. The pea stick that was once your enemy became your best friend. It said pregnant. Sadly, this first pregnancy disappeared before you had time to enjoy your IUI success. Although this brought sadness, it brought hope. It told you it could happen. You could be a mom, and that you were enough. That day, you felt closer to motherhood than ever. After 4 more rounds of unsuccessful IUIs, you learned that this treatment was just not enough for your body. The words, "you're a lost cause," that came out of that stupid doctor's mouth broke you. On this day, Maria, your infertility heartache became real. Your body had failed you, yet you picked up the broken pieces, glued yourself together, and were ready to try again. You had no time to waste. Getting pregnant and having a baby as soon as possible was priority. Your marriage was crumbling, your relationships had fallen apart, the symptoms you endured during the medications owned your life, and the financial impacts haunted you. But none of that mattered. You were willing to do it all over again because pregnancy and baby was all that mattered. Although IUI didn't work, IVF would. That's what they told you. That's what you believed. You buckled up and began your IVF journey. This was your opportunity of fulfilling your dreams. You made your appointments within a couple weeks. You found yourself at egg retrieval day. As you laid on that not-so-comfy bed, a mix of emotions took over you. You were scared, anxious, but so happy. You were one step closer, and man, that felt good. Soon you thought that pee stick once again would show 2 lines, and this time, it would end with a baby in hand. Fast forward through the daily shots that became routine, the science behind the fertilization, and those damn hormones that scared anyone and everyone around you. Transfer day came. Science had made you guys 7 embryos, 7 chances, 7 possibilities, 7 boys. On that cloudy day on November 2019, you felt on top of the world. There was no stopping this embryo from becoming a beautiful baby. You were on cloud 9. A few days after transfer, as your glowing, happy pregnant self began loving life again, the unimaginable happened. A car came out of nowhere and hit you, knocking you to the floor. It happened so fast. Your world came crashing down with a screech of a car. You panicked. You didn't care about the car, the individual that hit you, or your injuries. You only cared about the baby. That precious cargo that was being hauled within you. What you dreamt for. You had finally felt free of infertility, proud of yourself and happy. Why did life not allow you to just be happy? You didn't understand. With God's grace, your angels, good juju, or whatever other greater being protecting you, your precious cargo was great. You remained pregnant. In that moment, you felt lucky that hearing that precious sound of a heartbeat and staring at that beautiful black and white screen did not just become a memory from your past. A few weeks later, though, it became just that. Unfortunately, that beautiful sound of that fast-paced heartbeat was nowhere to be found. As you sat in the waiting room after discovering the missing heartbeat, you felt lost, confused, and shocked. As your mind battled these feelings and prepared you to take that pill that was about to make you a failure once again, you heard a voice. It was a lady sitting next to you. She looked over and asked you, "Do you have kids?" It took you a minute to understand, a minute to take in that dumb question that people always seem to ask. But not today, you thought. Today was a bad day. You felt the heat rise from the bottom of your feet all the way up through the ends of your hair. You felt defeated. Without even thinking of this lady's feelings and possibly the meaning behind her innocent, stupid question, you angrily responded, "I am miscarrying at the moment." This poor lady's face went blank with regret, but her words had already cut you once again and brought that word of failure into your mind. After that fucked up miscarriage pill that felt like you were swallowing a giant spiky rock that cuts you up inside went in your mouth, you went home and miscarried yet another baby. 13 weeks of hope. 13 weeks of excitement. They had told you not to buy anything. They told you not to get excited. But how could you not? Everyone knows after 12 weeks, you're in the clear. You were 13. But there you sat, all alone. After 13 weeks of not seeing loneliness, there it was tapping you on the shoulder. With tears streaming down your face and that hot water from the shower feeling like thorns puncturing your heart, you checked out. You were done feeling. Your baby had sadly gained its wings and gone to heaven to meet his siblings. The more you failed, the more you wanted it. As you ramped up to try again, COVID showed up to ruin your plans. It not only shut the world down, but it also shut down your sole purpose for living, getting pregnant. Due to the IVF procedure being elective, they canceled all appointments, pausing your biological clock until further notice. This COVID, it took your control away and caused your anger and resentment with life grow. Infertility groups helped you through these times. Your husband, family, and friends didn't get it, but your infertility sisters did. You alienated yourself from your loved ones and soaked in the misery of this messed up life with those new sisters of yours. They made you hopeful. They gave you a home in which you no longer felt you were silently screaming in. You were more ready than ever. This next time you told yourself, it's gonna happen. COVID came and stayed, but restrictions were finally lifted. Many infertility sisters you met through support groups during COVID began getting pregnant, but you didn't. Your anger grew yet again. The feeling of resentment you carried overwhelmed you, your spouse, and those around you. You could care less about baby announcements. You declined attending baby showers. You didn't even want to see social media posts of babies and children. Jealous and alone, you couldn't even share a good for you or like those posts. So what did you do? You removed yourself and cut communications with those new sisters of yours, your family, and the world. It took 2 more rounds of egg retrievals, but there you were, pregnant again. This one you enjoyed so much more. You heard the heartbeat. You saw the baby sucking its thumb for the first time. You felt him dancing. That feeling was amazing. Those flutters were such a sweet surprise. You finally felt what other moms talked about. It was real. First trimester came and went. We were finally having a baby. A few weeks of what felt too good to be true later, the worst day of your life happened. As you turned on that TV that morning and watched a mob storming the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., your blood boiled with anger. It was violent. It was outrageous. And although you told yourself it was probably unhealthy to watch, you couldn't stop. Being glued to the screen was your only option for entertainment these days. The doctor had put you on bed rest due to hemorrhaging, and you had been fighting what you thought was a stomach bug. A few hours with symptoms of that stomach bug, you called the nurse line to share the symptoms and hoped for some advice to help clear your negative thoughts of the baby being sick or hurt. Your past unfortunately created this PTSD within you. After discussing with the nurse, you found that during the past 36 hours where you thought a bug was attacking your body, you had been going through the beginnings of labor. But how could this be? You had just been to an appointment the day before. The baby looked great, you looked great. But as the phone call came to an end, the contractions and cramping grew in pain. They were now 4 minutes apart. The nurse told you to hang up and rush to the hospital. The swirling thoughts of anxiety, fear, and pain you felt through your body in this drive to the hospital was horrendous. Within 10 minutes of arriving at the hospital, your baby boy James had left this place before he could even take a breath. He was 6 months. His face was white and had a chin like yours. He was beautiful. You refused to hold him, though. You didn't want to believe he was there. You didn't want to believe you had just gone through delivery. Holding him meant it was over, and that it was time to say goodbye. You almost lost your life that day due to the bleeding, and sadly, part of you hoped you would have. You were physically, mentally, and spiritually done. You were alone. You were angry, sad, and without child. How was he okay the day before? How did they not see this happening? Leaving this earth was all you wanted. You wanted your babies, and you thought this was the only way you could be with them. A few days after kissing your baby goodbye, you sat in your car one day, put the keys in the ignition, and began driving towards a cliff. You had convinced yourself to drive your car off of it. But Maria, you were saved. This cop car came to your rescue. Was it your mom that put him there, your babies? To this day, you wonder who placed this man in your way. That cop saved you. He spoke with you, calmed you, and provided what you needed to want to live another day. You fought daily. Your postpartum was hell. Engorged breasts, constant bleeding and soreness. It was all a twisted postpartum experience. This is something no one prepares you for, and no one really speaks about. Dealing with postpartum yet not having a baby to make it all worth it is hell. As you look back, you think, I wish they would have told me to go in with hope but not be blinded by hope. I wish they would have told me that doing IVF was not a guarantee to bring a baby home. That 2 lines did not mean a baby. The loneliness, the fear, the anxiety, the unknown was all part of this IVF package. A package that left out so much of the darkness, the pain, and destruction of oneself as failed attempts piled up on top of you. I wish they would have handed a warning document that contained infertility treatments can break marriages in big, bold, bright red letters. Maria, your new self is work in progress. Be proud of yourself. As you're learning to accept that you can't force and control situations, be kind to yourself. Be respectful to yourself. Look in that mirror and love who you've become, because you fought hard to get here. You outgrew the old you. You matured. Although the harsh reality of your infertility journey made you realize that adulthood is not a gentle place, and that pregnancy is not as rosy for all, you've continued to swim. You've taken control, and even in those moments of weakness, jealousy, and darkness that are all results of triggering moments, you practice compassion, you laugh at yourself, you're patient with your thoughts, and you push through those negative thoughts out and believe in yourself. Will you try fertility treatments again? That is unknown. But right now your focus is on you, to repair your broken self and find kindness towards yourself, to grieve, to live life again. Although all these years brought pain, you did learn that you are one tough woman, and you will not go through this again alongside someone who can offer support during the darkest times. Because when and if this dream does come true, those that can't handle the dark with you don't deserve to share in the brightest moments. Although your babies don't walk beside you, they are with you. They're in the flowers, the wind, and the birds. They're in the beautiful souls that have saved you and helped you find yourself again. Your babies are proud of you. These angel babies of yours will forever live in your heart and mind, and that alone makes you a great mama. Don't let anyone ever take that away from you. You are a mom. Love, Maria.